The hidden empire of ants. Tiny creatures, mighty world. Have you ever stopped to watch a line of ants marching across the ground? At first glance, they may seem ordinary, almost invisible in the grand scale of nature. But if you follow them long enough, you will discover a story more epic than any adventure film. A world where cooperation, survival, and persistence weave together into one of the greatest natural civilizations on Earth. This is the hidden empire of ants. Creatures so small, yet so powerful, they shape entire ecosystems without us even noticing. Imagine the forest floor at dawn. The air is damp, the leaves are glistening with dew, and somewhere beneath the soil, an entire city is waking up. Deep underground, in chambers carved meticulously by countless tiny jaws, millions of ants live side by side. There is no chaos here, no confusion. Every ant knows its role. Some rush to care for the queen, a single giant among them whose sole duty is to give birth to the next generation. Others hurry to tend the eggs and larvae, feeding and protecting the fragile future of the colony. At the same time, lines of workers prepare to march out, seeking food, while soldiers sharpen their jaws, ready to defend against intruders. This is not just a nest. It is a superorganism. Each ant is like a cell in a larger body, insignificant on its own, but together forming one of nature's most astonishing machines. But how do ants, without leaders or written rules, organize themselves so perfectly? The answer lies in chemistry. Pheromones, invisible signals carried in the air. When an ant finds food, it lays down a chemical trail for others to follow. Soon, dozens, then hundreds, will march in line, carrying back pieces of leaves, dead insects, or even food much larger than themselves. Watch closely, and you will see teamwork that rivals human engineering. A single crumb dropped on the ground can become a treasure. And within minutes, an army of ants will swarm, lift, and carry it back home, piece by piece, never giving up. Perhaps the most famous of these workers are the leafcutter ants of South America. In the Amazon rainforest, they form endless green highways, ants carrying leaf fragments many times their body size. But here comes the twist. They don't eat the leaves. Instead, they take them underground to cultivate fungus, their main food source. In other words, ants are not just hunters and gatherers, they are farmers. Long before humans ever planted crops, ants had already discovered agriculture. Travel to Africa, and you will meet army ants, terrifying rivers of predators that move like living floods. When they march, every creature in their path must flee. Insects, spiders, even small vertebrates. Their jaws are sharp, their coordination perfect. No single ant is in charge, yet the colony acts as if guided by one mind. This is the power of collective intelligence, thousands of small decisions adding up to unstoppable force. And then there are the weaver ants, living in trees across Asia and Africa. These ants build aerial homes by weaving leaves together, using silk produced by their larvae. Picture an entire green fortress suspended in the branches, defended fiercely by soldiers that bite with painful precision. But ants are not only warriors and workers, they are also survivors. They have existed on Earth for over 100 million years, side by side with dinosaurs, and they are still thriving today. While empires of humans rise and fall, ant colonies endure. Their adaptability is unmatched. In deserts, ants withstand extreme heat, foraging only during the hottest part of the day when no other creature dares to walk. In rainforests, they form bridges with their own bodies, linking leaves and branches so the colony can pass. In flood-prone areas, they cluster together, creating living rafts that float on water, carrying their queen to safety. If you think about it, ants reflect the very essence of life: cooperation, resilience, and innovation. They show us that strength does not always come from size or power, but from unity. A single ant may seem insignificant, but when millions work together, they can move mountains, quite literally, reshaping soil, dispersing seeds, and even influencing plant growth. Some trees rely entirely on ants for survival, offering them nectar in exchange for protection against herbivores. It is a partnership written into the language of evolution. Yet, for all their brilliance, ants also face dangers. Habitat destruction, pesticides, and climate change threaten many species. Their underground cities may collapse when forests are cut down. Their delicate balance may be broken by pollution. To lose ants would not only mean losing tiny insects, it would mean tearing apart the threads that hold ecosystems together. And so, the story of ants is also a reminder for us. Every creature matters. Even the smallest, when overlooked, plays a role larger than we can imagine. Next time you see a line of ants crossing the pavement, don't just step over them. Pause for a moment. Watch their determination, their cooperation, their silent communication. Within those tiny bodies lies the history of survival, the science of teamwork, and the poetry of life itself. Ants may never roar like lions or soar like eagles, but they are among the greatest storytellers of nature, writing their tale not with words, but with persistence, unity, and the quiet power of countless footsteps on the ground. And perhaps, if we listen closely, their story is also ours. A story of finding strength, not in standing alone, but in standing together.